The provincial politics in Kosi is having to deal with twin problems. One relates to the flaring up of sentiments over the naming of the province, while the other infers to the tricky numerical bench strength of the parties in the assembly. Such a dramatic and intense has been the Kosi politics that less than 2 months after his ouster, UML parliamentary party leader Hikmat Karki finds himself as the chief minister of Kosi province yet again. Since parties are averse to the idea of midterm election, Chief Minister Karki stands in a good position to pass the floor test this time around. Good evening, I'm Amar Singh Pradhan and these are the headlines of the hour. Prime Minister Dahal gears up for his visit to the US, bent on wrapping up issues of transitional justice before embarking on the US visit. The last phase construction works of bridge at Kanchanpur's Dodhara Chandani stranded in the absence of budget. G20 countries work on finalizing a declaration for the summit that begins tomorrow. Host India says negotiators make progress in bridging differences in the group over the war in Ukraine. And Nepal bow out of the semi-final of the ICC Women's T20 World Cup Asia region qualifiers. Dreams of reaching global qualifiers remains elusive. The newly appointed Chief Minister of Kosi Province, Hikmat Karki, has expanded the Kosi provincial government today itself. Karki was appointed the Chief Minister as per the mandamus issued by the Supreme Court yesterday. The Apex Court had given a 48-hour deadline yesterday to appoint the Chief Minister as per constitutional provision. Chief Minister Karki took the oath of office and secrecy today itself, following which he formed the cabinet. The newly formed cabinet has Tilkumar Mangbo as Minister for Energy, Irrigation and Water Resources. Likewise, Panch Karna Rai is the Minister for Forest, Environment and Tourism, while Sirjana Rai has bagged the Minister for State for Social Development. Chief Minister Karki is now required to go for the floor test within the next 30 days. There are a total of 93 lawmakers in Kosi province. UML is the largest party with a bench strength of 40 lawmakers, including Deputy Speaker. Congress has 29, Mao Centre has 13, RPP has 6, Unified Socialist has 4, while Janta Samajwadi has 1 lawmaker. Prime Minister Pushpakamal Dahal has intensified his preparations to end cases related to transitional justice. 17 years since the comprehensive peace accord has failed to produce desired results, Prime Minister Dahal, with the US visit round the corner, is determined to end the cases related to transitional justice. An amendment bill on investigation on enforced disappeared and Truth and Reconciliation Act is currently under consideration in the subcommittee of the Parliament. Prime Minister Dahal has also held several rounds of meetings with Nepali Congress Chief Sher Bahadur Deuba and UML Chair KP Sharma Oli to find a consensus on the issues of transitional justice. National Human Rights Commission and international communities have also shown their interest on issues including general amnesty. For Minister for Law Govinda Bandi, who had played an instrumental role in the formation of laws related to transitional justice, is of the view that if Nepal failed to complete the transitional justice, it will give out negative messages at the summit. Constitutional expert Bipin Adhikari viewed that the ruling parties and the opposition need to clear differences to end the cases of transitional justice. It may be recalled that during the insurgency era, the US had listed the Maoist rebels of Nepal as terrorist organization. Even as the US has lifted the terrorist tag from Nepal's Maoists, America doesn't hold a favorable outlook for the Maoists, who had released a statement in favor of Venezuela against American imperialism in the year 2018. CPN Mao Center has also criticized the United States Indo-Pacific strategy. The Maoists have, however, accepted US-funded MCC Nepal Compact, citing that they want to improve their ties with the US. Prime Minister Pushpakamal Dahal will be in the US from 16 to 21st of September to attend UN General Assembly in New York. Just as Citizenship Bill was approved prior to Prime Minister Dahal's India visit, analysts feel that TRC Bill could also be endorsed through fast track just before he leaves for the US. The Nepal police have arrested individuals alleged of trafficking Nepali nationals to various countries and keeping them hostage in the pretext of taking them to the US. The Human Trafficking Investigation Bureau of Nepal Police has arrested Hasta Gautam for allegedly taking money from Nepali citizens looking to go to the US and instead taking them to Sri Lanka, the Philippines and Zambia, among other nations where they were kept as hostages. Gautam had himself gone to the US 29 years ago to attend the Paralympic and holds a US green card and a passport. The police have said Gautam and his network has taken around 200 individuals abroad, 13 of whom had been kept hostage in various countries. Now a US citizen, Gautam was brought to Nepal with the help of US Security Department. The police have claimed Gautam takes between 1.1 million to 6.5 million rupees per every person, selling people the dream of taking them to the United States. 5 cases had already been filed against Gautam prior to his arrest. 3 other individuals alleged of connection in the trafficking were arrested from the country itself, while Nepal police have corresponded with security entities of various nations where others from his network are suspected to be hiding. The police is also currently investigating regarding the whereabouts of the individuals who used Gautam's link to go to the US. The failure to complete construction of the bridge over Mahakali River in Kanchanpur's Dodhara Chandani region that was separated as the river changed its course has affected movements and many other crucial activities. The construction is in its final phase, but works have stopped citing lack of budget. Fund shortage has stranded the 4-lane concrete bridge and an access road along with the pond that was planned to be constructed in the river area. The government has listed the bridge in its top priority project and has allocated 180 million rupees in the ongoing fiscal year. Of the 220 million rupees that contractor companies had yet to receive, the government has cleared 140 million so far, but the government is struggling to clear the dues as it only has 40 million rupees remaining in this fiscal. The works of the bridge had begun some 6 years ago as Kumar Shrestha's CAFEC JV had taken the contract for over 3,279 million rupees and had committed to completing it in 3 years' time. So far, the deadline has been extended 3 times. However, lack of budget has been affecting the project momentum. In the meantime, the designs of the ponds in the Mahakali River have been changed but are awaiting approval. Once constructed, the bridge will connect Dodhara Chandani in the west with India through the proposed dry port and connect east-west highway in the east and the under construction Mahakali corridor in the west. And it's now time for our segment Public Pulse, where you text us with your opinion.
Public Pulse.
And before we give you today's question, let's take a look at a response to yesterday's question. And yesterday we had asked you, why has corruption become rampant at local levels? 36% voted for option A, corrupt mentality. 46% voted for option B, nexus of parties. And 18% voted for option C, lack of monitoring. And time for today's question. And the question is, why has illiteracy not been rooted out despite education campaign run every year? Your options are option A, lackluster planning, option B, misuse of budget, and option C, lack of knowledge. The voting is on. Type in EWS, select your option A, B or C and send it to 34001 to share your opinion with us. And time for international update. G20 countries have almost finalized a declaration for the weekend summit of its leaders, host India said earlier today, suggesting that negotiators had made progress in bridging differences in the group over the war in Ukraine. India's G20 negotiator Amitabh Kant said the summit's concluding statement, the leaders' declaration, will be a voice of the global south and developing countries. Negotiators of the group of 20 major economies have been struggling for days to agree on the language in the document because of differences over the war, hoping to get Moscow and Beijing on board to produce a communique that will also address pressing global problems like debt and climate change. The weekend summit in New Delhi is expected to be dominated by the West and its allies. Chinese President Xi Jinping is skipping the meeting and sending Premier Li Keqiang instead, while Russia's Vladimir Putin will also be absent. US President Joe Biden, German Chancellor Olaf Scholz, French President Emmanuel Macron, British Prime Minister Rishi Sunak, Saudi Arabia's Mohammed bin Salman and Japan's Fumio Kishida, among others, will attend. China said earlier today it is willing to work with all parties and push for a positive outcome at the summit. It's now time for sports update.
Sports news.
Nepal played a goalless draw against Myanmar in an international friendly that ended earlier this evening in Myanmar's Thauna Stadium. Nepal's two friendlies, including today's match, have been scheduled against Myanmar as Team Nepal prepare for the 2026 World Cup qualifiers, where they take on Laos. Myanmar are ranked 168, 15 place above Nepal in FIFA ranking. Following a goalless first half, Nepal put up a better performance in the second half as they created some good goal-scoring opportunities. The match, however, ended goalless as both sides failed to break the deadlock till the regulation 90 minutes with no provision of added extra time. Anjan Bista was guilty of wasting a penalty kick as his shot in the 57th minute was saved by Myanmar keeper. Gillespie Karki made a debut in the international friendly today, while influential striker Nauvik Shrestha was only used in the last 5 minutes of the match. It eventually turned out to be a clean match with a total of only 4 yellow cards, 2 each to both Nepal and Myanmar, flashed in the entire 90 minutes of play. The second friendly between Nepal and Myanmar is scheduled on 11th of September, this Monday. And those were our latest headlines. Up next is News in Nepali. Good night.